Hi, good afternoon. I'd like to welcome you to Poem Praise 2 and Peace and blessings be upon you and your family this afternoon. Now, you know I have here for you lies my teacher told me. Now, we have completed chapter number 1. So here on Poem Praise 2, we are about to start chapter number 2, but let me let you know something, okay? If you go to the playlist, just for the numbers, see, I was having it as being take 1, take 2, take 3, take 4, but as you see, this is a thick book. So I did not want to get up to like take 75, take 100, if you know what I'm saying. So to keep it simple, what I've done is I renumbered. So you're going to have it going from 1 all the way until, well, actually I can see it over here. You're going to go through the preface, excuse me. You'll have 2 takes of that. You'll go through the intro. And the intro, that's going to be a total of 6 takes. So therefore, if you're on the 3rd take of 6, you're like halfway through the intro. And the same thing with chapter 1. We actually got up to take number 12. So this was going to be take 13. But no, it's not going to be take 13. Okay? It's about to be chapter number 2, take 1. Okay, so with the first chapter, you're going to have 6 takes. So therefore, if you get to the 3rd take of that chapter, you know you're halfway through the chapter. And that was just letting you know about the numbers, unless you have been reading this book and how I changed them, or if you're starting to read this book. Certainly, you're able to go to the playlist, and you can certainly review all this that we have already completed. And I do thank you in advance for that. But without further ado, let us go ahead and get into chapter number 2 here on Poem Praise 2. And it reads as such. Now for the title, this is 1493. The true importance of Christopher Columbus. And take 1 reads as such. Columbus is above all the figure with whom the modern age, the age by which we may delineate these past 500 years, probably begins. And in his character as in his exploits, we are given an extraordinary insight into the patterns that shaped the age of its smart and still, for the most part, shape it today. Kirkpatrick Sale. As a subject for research, the possibility of African discovery of America has never been a tempting one for American historians. Excuse me. In a sense, we choose our own history. Or more accurately, we select those vitals, those vistas of history for our examinations which promise us the greatest satisfaction. And we have this little appetite to explore the possibility that our founding father was a black man, Samuel D. Marble. What was committed? Oh, one moment. History is the polemics of the victor, William F. Buckley, Jr. What we committed in the Indies stands out amongst the most unpardonable offenses ever committed against God and mankind in this trade. An American Indian slaves is in parentheses, as one of the most unjust, evil, and cruel among them. Bartholomew, de las Casas. In 1493, Columbus stole all he could see. Traditional verse, updated. In 1492, Christopher Columbus sailed in from the blue. American history books present Columbus pretty much without president. And they portray him as America's first great hero. And so canonizing him, they reflect our national culture. Indeed, now the President's Day has combined Washington's and Lincoln's birthdays. Columbus is one of only 2 people in the United States honors by name in a national holiday. The one date that every school child remembers, in 1492, and sure enough, every textbook I surveyed indicates it. But most of them leave out our virtually everything that is important to know about Columbus and the European exploration of the Americas. Meanwhile, they make up all kinds of details to tell a better story and to humanize Columbus so readers will identify with him. Columbus, like Christ, was so pivotal that historians used to divide the past into epochs. EPOCHS, y'all. Making the Americas before 1492 pre-Columbian. American history textbook recognized Columbus's importance by granting him an average of 1,000 words. 3 pages, including a picture and a map and a lot of space. Considering all the material these books must cover, their heroic collective account goes something like this. Born in Genoa, Italy, of humble parents, Christopher Columbus grew up to become an experienced seafarer. He sailed the Atlantic as far as Iceland and West Africa. His adventures convinced him that the world must be round. Therefore, the fabled riches of the East, spices, silk, and gold, could be had by selling west, superseding the overland route through the Middle East, which the Turks had closed off to commerce. Closed road, you had to make a detour. To get funding for his enterprise, Columbus beseeched monarch after monarch in Western Europe. Sorry, it's not Western Union, but Western Europe. Okay. What do I say? There might be a union of some sort, but anyway, on the West. But I'm gonna keep it moving. Yeah, okay, we're gonna keep it moving, y'all. After first being dismissed by Ferdinand and Isabella of Spain, Columbus finally got his chance when Queen Isabella decided to underwrite a modest expedition. Columbus outfitted 3 pitifully small ships: the Nina, just a misdemeanor, no, I got jokes, Nina, the Pinta, and Santa Maria, and set forth from Spain. The journey was difficult. The ship sailed west into the unknown Atlantic for more than 2 months. mutinied, M-U-T-I-N-I-E-D, and threatened to throw Columbus overboard. Finally, they reached the West Indies on October the 12th, 1492. Although Columbus made 3 more voyages to America, he never really knew he had discovered a new world. He died in obscurity, unappreciated, and penniless. Yet without his daring, American history would have been very difficult, for in a sense Columbus made it all possible. Unfortunately, almost everything in this traditional account is either wrong or unverifiable. The authors of history textbooks have taken us on a trip of their own, away from the facts of history into the realm of myth. They and we have been duped by an outrageous concoction of lies, half-truths, and omissions that is in large part traceable to the first half of the 19th century. The textbook's first mistake is to underplay previous explorers. People from other continents had reached the Americas many times before 1492. Even if Columbus had never sailed, other Europeans have soon reached the Americas. Indeed, Europeans may already have been fishing off Newfoundland in the 1480s. In a sense, Columbus' voyage was not the first, but the last discovery. I'm going to repeat that for you just one more time. You want to hear it again? Here it goes. In a sense, Columbus' voyage was not the first, but the last discovery of the Americas. It was epoch-making because of the way in which Europeans responded. Columbus' importance is therefore primarily attributable to changing conditions in Europe, not to his having reached a new continent. Oh, so something changed over in Europe. And the change over there brought about the change over here for the history over here in the Americas. Is you following? Did you follow that? Let me read it for you one more time for the sense. And think about the geography of it all. Okay? Is where I'm going with that. Okay. Now, we already said it's not the first, but the last discovery of the Americas. And it was epoch-making because of the way in which Europe responded. The way they responded. Okay. Now, Columbus' importance, is therefore primarily attributable to changing conditions in Europe. Changing conditions in Europe. Not to his having reached a new continent. American history textbooks seem to understand the need to cover social changes in Europe in the years leading up to 1492. They point out that history passed the Vikings by and devote several pages to the reasons Europe was ready this time to take advantage of the discovery of America. As one textbook puts it, unfortunately, none of the textbooks provide substantive analysis of the major changes that prompted the new response. Most of the books I examined begin the Columbus story with Marco Polo and the Crusades. Here is the composite account of what was happening in Europe. And I'm going to leave you at that note. So you stay tuned to Poem Praise 2 with the lies my teacher told me so that we can pick up what was happening in Europe. The changing condition, how they responded. But we're going to find out what was happening in take number 2, chapter number 2. Here on Poem Praise, you got it. 2. And until you hear from me again, because this is our 15-minute read, I do thank you for tuning in. And I certainly want for you to be well, to take care, to be blessed, and it beeth thy will. I'll talk with you soon here on Poem Praise 2. So, until next time, later y'all.